just boy, as tough as it was Saturday, it was even tougher Sunday afternoon watching that film, and just a lot of chances that we had to win that game, and we didn't take advantage of. Again, all credit goes to the Trailblazers and Coach Peterson, his staff, and Utah Tech football team. They did a great job coming in here and winning the football game. But disappointing loss for us. Snapped a 13-game home winning streak, and will be time to start a new one. But that one hurt more than anything. Just our guys take tremendous pride in playing well at home in front of the home crowd, and that was our first home loss since I think October something of 2019, so 4 seasons ago. So hats off to all those guys, players, and coaches through the years that put that one together, and got to start a new one. But put that one behind us, as tough as it was to watch the film. I think, as I told the team Monday morning, you either win or you learn. You don't necessarily lose. And so we're going to learn from that one and what put us in that predicament and be better for it moving forward. And we've had a good day of practice today, good meetings, and team's been great. We've been very fortunate. And just the way things have kind of shaken out, if the playoffs are started today, it'd be Abilene Christian, going as they hold the tiebreaker with the ASUN champion to be, which would be Central Arkansas. So, the way we look at things, there's still a lot to play for. I think we'll see how the games shake out this weekend during our bye week, and then we'll be playing for a playoff spot there against UCA here on November the 12th. It'll be a big game, really good team. Coach Brown does a good job there. Ken Collins, offense coordinator, good friend of mine, and they're clicking on all cylinders right now and playing really, really good football. So we'll need a good crowd and a good performance to get that to have a chance to win that one. But that'll be a great game. And then finishing the thing up on November 19th, we'll be playing for a conference championship, whether outright or what have you. It kind of depends on how some games go over the next 2 weeks, but. So there's still a lot to play for with these guys, and that's good to be, in November. It's November 1st today, and still have things to play for, and that's what our sights are set on now. So, backing off the team a little bit this week during the bye in terms of a practice and workload and getting their legs back underneath them. There's, some sickness going around everywhere right now, and flus and this, that, and the other, and then bumps and bruises of an 11-game season. So. This will be a great week for us, I think, to get healthy and get a few guys back and hopefully finish strong over these last 2 weeks. Nathan?
Hey, Coach, you said you either win or you learn. So what would you say specifically that you learned as a team going forward?
Oh, there's a lot we learned, I think, Nathan. I hope we learned. Number one, you got to be ready to play against every opponent in this league every Saturday. Those other teams have scholarships and good coaches, and if you don't show up on your A game, you're going to get your butt beat, and that's what happened to us there. And then, specifically, you just can't, a lot of times you don't win games, you lose games. It's the team that makes the least amount of mistakes is the one that wins, and I think that was evident Saturday because Utah Tech just played a cleaner game than the Lumberjacks did, and we made mistake after mistake and made things easy or put the ball in, gave them a chance to execute and make a play when if we would have just done what have been accustomed to doing and playing at the level we're accustomed to playing to, I think it would have made it harder on them. And so, again, I'm not taking anything away from those guys, but we just did not play a clean game. So, what did we learn? You got to be ready to play each and every Saturday, and that's my fault as head coach not having the Lumberjacks ready this past week. But then just throughout the game, cleaning some things up from an execution standpoint. You can go all the way back from, the punt block, the poor tackling, the busted coverage, the turnovers, lack of execution on this play or that. And when it's a close game and it comes down to the final play, there's a bunch of them. You can go back and circle and watch this tape, watch this film, this clip, and everything. But I think our guys, we got a mature team, and I think they all, hurt. And as a staff, we hurt, and now – as a program, we're moving forward.
What's the atmosphere been like amongst the team now in the locker room and stuff?
Right. I was in there with you guys on the post-game interview, so I didn't get to go through the locker room there after the game. Everybody's about gone time I made it down there. But, I thought it was very positive. We had a big recruiting weekend. We had a bunch of official visits and we were 100% on commitments there. And a lot of those players and those recruits and their parents, in those exit interviews on Sunday were complimenting our team and our players and just the atmosphere after a tough loss on an exciting game, just how they held themselves. And I think that speaks to the true character of our players. I think we've got a great locker room, a great culture. And so, in that locker room, there was ownership shared throughout offense, defense, and special teams, because all three phases had opportunities to win that game, and we didn't get it done. So Monday, I was very, very pleased with the team meeting and the accountability and just the demeanor of the overall team. And we talked about that. Football, football, to win in football, you got to do right all the time. You can't just pick and choose when you want to be a good football team. And that's why I think football is such a great sport, because it emulates life. And, life, you got to be – if you want to be a good husband, you got to be a good husband every single day. You can't do it just, 6 days out of the week and seventh day go cat around on your spouse. That's not being a good husband or good wife. You got to do it all the time. Be a good parent. You've got to be a good parent 24/7, 365. And to be good at football, it's the same thing, So related to work, we're all employees. We've all got bosses we answer to, and you can't take days off and slack and not give your very best each and every day. You end up getting fired. And so I think there's a lot of life lessons that we learned and football lessons that we learned from that game on Saturday, and hopefully in the future we're better for it.
Did you? I know you talked about like illnesses and stuff going on, but everyone pretty healthy. Otherwise, no injuries from the game.
Yeah, from the game, I think we came out fairly healthy. Or Jerome Wembley got banged up a little bit, but I think he'll be back. We were missing two safeties and a receiver and a D tackle. That all contribute on a regular basis there Saturday, and we're hopeful with the bye week that we can get some of those guys back. Dylan Brown, our kickoff specialist, hope he can be back as well. We missed him Saturday. So it's, week 11, 10, 11, whatever it is, there's going to be injuries. Everybody's got them. Injuries equal opportunities. Next guy's got to step up. But we are fortunate to have a bye week here this time of year, and I think it'll be good for us.
That's all I got, Coach.
Coach, given the two opponents you've got coming up, Central Arkansas and Abilene Christian, and what's at stake, is it safe to say that is the message in the locker room right now that the playoffs have started for you guys? I mean, essentially that's kind of what we're looking at.
Yeah, it really has, and we were kind of almost in playoff mode already, to be perfectly honest with you, and we tripped up, and that was kind of the positive thing that came out of yesterday with the power rankings, and just kind of looking at how schedules lay and how what we've got left is that, even though we stubbed our toe, we're not eliminated. Now we still have to handle our business and see how the other chips fall. But regardless of playoffs, November 19th, we're playing for a conference championship. And that's, we lost the conference championship by 1 point last year to the guys down the street. And our guys are hungry, to put a ring on their finger and bring a championship back to NAC. And so there's a whole lot to play for there on the 19th. And to be able to win that game, we've got to get better over these next 2 to 3 weeks leading up to that game. But, this season really emulates or repeats last year's predicament. We had to go on the road, I believe it was week 10 or 11, to Conway and play Central Arkansas up there, real good team year in, year out. And we were able to beat them at their place and then go on the road and win a conference road game to punch our ticket to playoffs. And so here we are again. We're playing a good Central Arkansas team here November 12th, and that's going to be a tough hill to climb. But if we can get that one done, then we'll have even that much more to play for on top of a ring November 19th against Abilene Christian.
And then the last thing, you talked about kind of the mood of the team and coming off the weekend. How tough is it to get guys kind of back in? Like, you lose a disappointing game with everything that's at stake in the 13-game home winning streak. Was it tough to get them kind of back on track, or did they just kind of hop right back to it and go back to work as usual?
I think that's where, football's tough. College football's tough. It's not easy. And I think at this point in time, you've weeded out the pretenders. And so you've got guys that are tough, that have some grit to them and some perseverance, because they've had to go through so much just to get to the point they're at right now, playing Division I college football and at a high level. And so, yes, there was disappointment, but, again, you can't mope and cry about it. It's water under the bridge as much as it stings, and if, ands, or buts. It's in the past, and you got to your feet hit the floor each morning. You got to have a great attitude and attack the day to make the most of what's ahead of you, and that's where we've still got a lot ahead of us, and so I'm thankful for that, because it probably would be tougher to get going if you didn't still have some meaningful games ahead of us. But so far, really pleased with the maturity, and we've got, like I say, an older bunch. Some of these guys have played 3 or 4 years here now, and so good leadership, our leadership council, and just throughout the year, this team has matured and grown together. It hadn't been easy. We've lost some guys along the way and lost some games along the way, but pleased with where we're at right now this week.
A lot said about Xavier Gipson. Why should he be a Walter Payton Award finalist?
It's just plain and simple. He's one of the best players in FCS Division I football, and he shows that week in, week out. He leads the country in passing, not passing. He proved at Tech he couldn't throw the football. That's a shot, Xavier. He leads the country in receiving right now. I think he leads the country in punt returns. I don't know what he's averaging per punt return. It's ridiculous. But just any time he touches the ball, he has a chance to go the distance, and is really just has over throughout his career. And I know there's a lot of other worthy candidates out there, but I know when this thing gets down to nut cutting time there at the end, his name will be one of the finalists, I'm sure, just with the numbers he's putting up, and hopefully he has a couple more good games in him this season, and then maybe a game or two moving forward from there. Nothing's promised, but we'll continue to try to get him the ball as many times as we can, because he is fun to watch, and I'm glad he's on our team. All right, thank you. Axum.